Hey, what's good, y'all? It's C Will, and this is the Passive Income Network. On this podcast, we talk about creating assets that produce passive income. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment and say what's good. Big shout out to Thorn City Syndicate Management, and we're at the GMP Podcast out here in Portland, so make sure y'all tap in. Big shout out to them. All right, we here with Dr. Mello. What's good?
What's happening, folks? What's good with it? See Will in the building.
Yes. So we tapped in. Want to come here today and talk about crypto, NFTs, and whatnot, and especially for the new folks that are tapping in. Lean a little closer.
Okay.
For the folks that are tapping in, welcome. So, first of all, my name is C. Will. I am a crypto educator, founder of Passive Income Network. It's all about education, financial literacy, and making that passive income. So y'all know what it is. But Dr. Mello, aka Marsh, can you introduce the audience again?
Beautiful. Thank you once again for having me. GMP Podcast Group. Thanks for hosting us as well. I am. What do I do? Who am I? I am a crazy artist who is focused on watching people accomplish their goals and do it above and beyond their own expectations.
Okay.
Like my wealth in this world is based on how far I can push somebody beyond their own expectations the day before they met me. Right.
Okay.
So like that's how I live, what I do. I do that through art. I do that through what I call the 3 E's: enrichment, empowerment, and education. And I do it in that order. I try to communicate with people on a daily basis about what is it that's going to enrich their life. How can I empower them with the tools and resources? And then when they come back to me after they've explored those things and fallen down and still want it, Then I come in hard with the education. And the harder they try and fail, the harder I come back the next time when they come, right? Because I think we all know, especially in this crypto space, NFT space, it's not a like one and done and you just hit the rockets and you off to the moon, right? It's a slow process that can be challenging and stressful and painful sometimes. And it's really helpful to have resources like yourself, hopefully like me, and other crypto specialists who have gone through these same problems, and they can identify them and you can identify with them. And we all come together. Pool our resources together, learn from our mistakes, right? Learn from our successes. And that's what I do. That's what we do.
Hey, I would say I could testify that we started tapping in, which we're going to talk about the NFT workshops a little bit more later, but I can testify I'm even more lit. I was already lit doing some things, but I do appreciate a connection that can, we could work together and expand on what we're both already doing individually, come together to get some money together.
Well, it's about a catalyst, right? It's about, like we say, and you've heard me say, I want to speed you up. I don't want to slow you down.
Excellent.
Right? And that's where, it can be hard sometimes, because sometimes people don't make it easy to help them. Right.
Facts.
And so I try to do that as much as possible. I notice you do that as well.
Yes.
It's been incredible to synergize with you and to kind of percolate our powers. And now the concentration is getting stronger. People are recognizing us easier. So I think it's been great. I've been loving it.
Yeah. So I love it too, man. So listen, NFTs. Let's break it down real quick for the audience that are tapping in. If you're watching the Passive Income Network, you probably got an idea. But anyways, non-fungible tokens. We're talking about digital assets and ownership and an opportunity to change the game online, right? I say this in the workshops. Web 1 or Web 2, right? We'll go directly to Web 2. That's our kind of current state of the market or the internet, is that only thing you can own is a domain name. Right. And that's the truth. You can go to GoDaddy.com or any one of those sites and you can own a domain name, right? Web 3, you can own a lot more than that. So I always talk about Roblox and all of the video game assets. You can own assets and, NFTs, right? So NFTs, what was the first NFTs you heard about, and what blockchain, or what was the environment like?
It was kind of odd for me, because for probably about 6 months, my family, my friends, they were like, yo, you got to get in this NFT game, you know, this crypto. And I was just like, no, I can't. This is too much. Because I don't like to just hop in something and kind of pitty patter. I like to dive in head first and deep up into my eyeballs with this, you know. So I knew that it was going to inherently be complicated. We're talking about crypto, you know.
It's a technology.
Yeah, and even the cryptography, the mathematics behind it on the deeper level, it's inherently complicated, right? Yes. Now, I love that kind of thing. I love diving in. I love reading white papers. I love reading professors' work and all that kind of stuff and getting an understanding because, you know, I got kicked out of school at 10th grade.
Okay.
So the education I get is because I want it. I want the knowledge. I want the information. So finally, one of my buddies, he shows me his wallet from just buying and selling other people's art, you know, and now he's been hitting me up for 6 months. Like, dude, you got to do this. So I go, all right, man, I put my headset on because we do VR and stuff. And I was already experimenting with virtual reality and all that kind of jazz. And I just did 4 different algo tags or 3 different algo tags, right? Because that's the blockchain he was on.
Yep, tag and algo.
He gave me 10 algo. At the time, it was like $1.80, you know, to get me in the game and be able to mint on AB2 gallery. And I did those tags and I was minting, and that at those times it took a lot longer. You had to physically go in.
It was
and type,
tougher. Yeah.
You know, so I do the first one, I do the second one. I'm in the middle of the third one, and my boy calls me and he goes, "Hey, are you Crypto Bomber?" And I was like, yeah, because I didn't do no tweets. I didn't tell nobody. I was just like, nah, out of just like, I'm going to do this so I can shut him up real quick, right?
Yeah. I'm tapping in.
Yeah, I'm going to do it, right? I do it. The first 2 pieces sold before I could even mint the third one. That's without any marketing. That's without anything.
That's when the needle goes in. You're like, got him.
Dude, and it was like, for me, I just started thinking about all the other much more talented artists than me that I know. So I've been in the graffiti world for 27 years, and I have a deep connection to a lot of different graffiti organizations and crews. So my mind is just like, wow, like all these street artists that don't get paid well. People love their artwork. They've got a decade dedicated to their craft or more. They go and do live art. Yep. So I'm just like, my brain is just, because like I said, I'm about lifting others, right? And pushing them to their full potential.
So what you're saying is you was like, you thought about a lot of other people.
Yes.
And then you like, damn, they could be using this and coming up as well and having another avenue and roadmap and technology to help express themselves and create a living. That's what you're saying. Bro.
Yes. That to me, that's it, you know, because again, here's these guys who are incredibly talented, incredibly committed. Not only that, many of them don't vibe with the NFT, right? There's so many misconceptions about what NFTs are and, you know, whether it's real or it's fake. And most of them don't respect the art because it's not like spray painted.
It's not, definitely we'll say in the physical. It's not physical.
Exactly. Yeah. So then when I bring them in and they actually spray paint their NFT like they do in the street, it allows them to maintain that credibility and maintain that craft that they've developed over decades of time.
Y'all go to Crypto Bomber Crew's YouTube channel. You can see a demonstration of what he was talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into this. This is the perfect segue right now. NFT workshops, right?
Yes, sir.
So we've been hosting NFT workshops. We just came back from Iceland recently, right? That was crazy. Big shout out to Pop and Puffin.
Seen them Northern Lights.
Yeah, shout out to Nif's Gin. These are some of the sponsors and people that are collaborating with us. So we went to Iceland. We did the one in Portland was crazy. It was a lot different energy to Iceland because we had a lot of people here out from America and someone from Netherlands. But then in Iceland, we're mostly with just Europeans and different type of vibes. But they both had success, right?
Oh, it was incredible.
What we was talking about, you are educating artists. I'm educating people out here. We're teaching these artists and community members really what NFTs are and their real value. Let's speak on that.
Well, you know, it's been an awesome experience, you know, to sit there and watch, because you can see many of us who've talked about crypto and all this with people, you see when their eyes gloss over and they're like, you lost them.
Yeah,
right? They ain't hearing nothing.
Yeah.
And it was great to see our students and participants leaning in, right? Like they were leaning in, leaning forward, wanting more of it. And the way that we put it together, especially you laying it out very simplistic, and I kind of come in with the energy side of the fun part of it and remind them that we're doing something we love right here, right?
That's key.
That's the number one thing that I think I could leverage is you got to stay in your passion, whether that's marketing, copyright, art, the content, whatever that is. Blockchain and crypto and NFTs, they're going to touch every lane of our lives. So you don't have to change and do what somebody else did. So when to see them come into our workshop, to see their passion and to feel their excitement at the end of the workshop because they've minted an NFT, they got crypto in their wallet, they got a wallet now.
We're talking about they walked in really, they was, hey, I heard of crypto. They come there, they get educated. 2 hours later, let's call it 2 hours and 20 minutes later, they like, okay, they listening, they just finished a little concert, and they're like, damn, I got, like you said, I got crypto in a wallet that I never had. So I got a wallet, I got crypto, I have some sovereign money now, money that I can make decisions on and can control, right? And then they have art in their wallet. But more than that, like you said, their eyes, they have a vision of more.
Right.
And there's a lot more.
And that's, for me, like the most important part of this. It's not about, let's teach them what's like has been done and that's the only thing to do. No, we have so much excitement. This is not what we're at the part of this technology where we're texting and hitting the 7 3 times to get the T. Some of you young folk might not even understand this, but back when we were coming up, texting came out and they charged you for texting. You had to use the buttons on the phone and it was crazy. And I was like, no one's ever going to want to do this. Now that the technology's been fostered, cultivated, and pushed, some people don't even like to talk on the phone. All they want to do is text, right? And that's where we are with this technology right now, and why I feel it's so important to bring in as many different perspectives as possible from all different walks of life so that they can sprinkle their seasoning onto this and help direct the way that it's going to develop and grow and foster it along its line.
Oh, man. Yes.
And I feel like the people who leave our workshops leave with that burning energy inside of them, like I'm going to go out and make this with what I do, right? It's not about...
it's about plugging this technology, NFTs, crypto into what you do. And that's the key about this that we always press upon the people at the workshops, right? I want to do another segue.
Yes.
We are in the process, right? We're teaching NFTs. We're going to continue that going. We got things popping off and planned. We'll talk about that more. But now, the next one for Portland, just let y'all know today, we'll start here again. DeFi, decentralized finance. And I'm going to break that down a little bit. So traditionally, we have centralized authorities controlling our needs, right? We go to the bank, we ask for permission to get an account. We ask, can we withdraw? If something weird happens, they charge us, right? Overdrafts and all this and that. But then now we have a new system here being built that is actually here right now in the blockchain. I use it every day, and it's called DeFi. So this is a different version of, getting the money and manage the money, right? So in the Algorand blockchain, we got something called AlgoFi, where you can borrow and lend against your crypto using your cryptocurrency that you own as collateral. At the bank, you cannot really use your money as collateral to borrow against it and still earn a yield, right? Hopefully I didn't lose y'all out here listening. Right? So we're talking about sovereign money. So we're going to then take that energy that we use for NFT workshops, that fun, that excitement, that education, but put more money into it when we talk about DeFi.
Well, I think it's important to understand sustainability, right? And I think a lot of people right now all over the world are feeling the repression, the money depreciating. And with this, we have a little bit more control over how things are done and a little bit more liberty to get creative with how we're going to utilize our money and how we're going to and where it's going to go. And when you think about just sending money down south, if you're an immigrant here and you send money back home to Mexico, to Singapore, to wherever it is, Vietnam, you're paying Western Union percentages,
racks,
points, right?
I think they take, was it to Mexico? They take like 20% or something like that.
So you take that into consideration. And
don't quote me on that. But
again, it's up there. Then you have to pay extra to get it in minutes. right? Otherwise, you have to wait hours for it to come. Here with Algorand, bow.
Seconds.
4 seconds finality, closed, deal done, money in your wallet. You know it's there for 0.01 of a 1 penny.
Yes. Let me share a vision with y'all. So for artists, right? You come to the NFT workshop, you get your education. You like, oh, damn, I could take my art, tokenize it, and put it on the blockchain that makes some money. Then they go, okay, now I got some money. What can I do with the money? Well, come back to the DeFi workshop and we'll tell you how to make the money multiply, right? Because the whole purpose of money is a tool to multiply, right? Blockchain is a tool for us to use what we need to do to take care of our families at a fraction of a cost that this current system that we living under right now. So speaking on that, let's talk about the impact.
Oh, man.
Let's talk about that value that brings. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know that just personally, just the two of us from the workshops alone, we got 30 wallets on deck just from the 2 workshops, not counting any of the street work we've done and any of that. And I get text messages. I get messages on Twitter like, hey, the workshop was amazing. Make sure you hit me up on the net. Look at what I'm doing.
Yep.
And getting that feedback and just understanding that we're doing the necessary work. A lot of times everybody's online. Well, most of the people who don't know about crypto, they're not online.
They're out that window.
Yeah, so we got to get out in these streets
Yep.
and do impactful things that are meaningful and bring value, right? We're enriching their lives. That's why they're leaving so impacted, so uplifted, is because it's not about what we're going to get out of it. No. It's about what we're going to build for them and that they're going to accelerate. And it does give us something because it makes our ecosystem bigger, right? And that's what one of our biggest goals is. We understand that this is young, this is fresh, this is new, and it needs that cultivation. It needs that curation. And that's where we come in and kind of pinpoint the opportunities. Because like we said in the beginning, this technology is inherently challenging. It's complicated, right? When you really get down into the deepness of it, right? And to get to that deepness, you got to understand what's on the surface that's valuable right away when you're speaking with somebody. And so that's been the biggest impact for me, is getting that to experience that, getting to marinate in their like joy and their excitement and watching them create art, put it into the blockchain. It doesn't matter if it wins or if it loses, you're learning lessons.
Exactly.
And these lessons it's so valuable right now. And
and because it's like the beauty of it is you can do all this from your phone. Like we say in the workshop, there's levels to it. You can get deeper, you can bring in coders, developers, but at the grassroots level, like I was talking about this on my podcast with the Next Block. Shout out to the Next Block. Go subscribe over there. But we're talking about like the youth. Yeah. So in this new age, right? So the reason why we have to teach these workshops is because one of the reasons is we have a new generation coming up, right? They're coming up. They're already in Web 2.5, heading to Web 3. Like we talk about Roblox and all the video games they play. They're selling them assets, in-game assets. They're buying all the extra things, but they're not giving them the sovereignty or the real ownership of it, right? So we're forecasting that in the next 10, 15 years, kids the first thing they're gonna do is open a digital wallet. They're not gonna open a bank account. They're not doing that. They're gonna realize that they can flip their video game assets in high school, in middle school, and make some bread. Yeah. That is like amazing right there. And then all the other opportunities that come there. So we have to get the adults right now involved in this so that way they can then continue this mass adoption of this new technology. And
100%, and I was going to say also, so that when the younger people come talking to them, they're prepared to absorb this and not just brush them off as, oh, this is some silly thing that some kids came up with. So that's the other thing, is like providing opportunity to build within communities, right?
I'm flowing right now in my mind. You're right. Because you go, okay, I came up, they had us going door to door. It's like Girl Scouts do it.
Sure.
You got these kids out here hustling. Right? Let's teach them how to hustle off an iPhone now. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yes. Knock on a few DMs, make a few posts, mingle with people. It's a different value of social skills that they're also learning, because we have now the social media component that we didn't have years ago.
And we're adding now, like what I specialize in with virtual reality, I can put a headset on and me and you can be on the other side of the world and we can come to a space that I build out.
Yep.
right? And others build out and they can contribute to, and we can meet from all over the world. And when you get
Yep.
closer to me in virtual reality, I hear you louder, right?
Yep.
And when you get farther,
spatial.
So, that's going to add, and for me, it's about creating connectivity, right? We have such a propensity towards escapism, right?
Yes.
It's like we want to get away from things. I think that this technology can really be utilized to connect people, to get people, senior citizens who are like in hospices and stuff like that. We're developing programs where they can put on a headset and go for a safari hot air balloon ride.
Yeah.
Right. People who would never leave, where we can go up to them and ask them, hey, where are the places you always wanted to travel in your life? And then we can send them there. And when they come out, we can have food ready for them and they can taste it.
They did. I took a few years ago. I did a whole like a 40-hour 360 camera like VR workshop type thing. It was crazy, but that's what they're talking about, like helping people learn how to walk again. Because if you could stimulate their physical body but put their mind inside that virtual world, they found that it moves
the neurons.
It connects it because your body would feel it, and then it would talk to yourself.
It has so much to do with the way we see, right? We see out of memory. Like you don't see your nose right now, even though it's right there, right? Because you blocked it out.
Yeah.
And what happens is you put these VR headset on and you're like in this battle of like, oh, is this real or not?
Yeah.
Because your mind is forced to, from memory, like this is what's real. And the more senses that you can take out, add to it, the more it feels like reality. Like they have haptic gloves that you can pick up hands and it restricts your hand.
Yeah.
And it understands how much you could crush it, right? And all of these things are going to add to that value.
I'm about to pick my NFT up.
Yeah, and like and think, for me, I think about molding things and operating heavy equipment as well. Like you could operate all this stuff because
remotely.
And so these are the type of things when it comes to more dangerous tasks and stuff, where we can put in a robot that's in control by a person, and you're utilizing the same technology. You could be anywhere in the world.
It's getting crazy. Okay, anywhere in the world. I love that. Again, segue. Okay, NFT workshops, DeFi workshops. So I was talking to my guy out in Nigeria, right? He's trying to get us to come out there.
Yeah, come on, baby.
Yeah. So we might be in Lagos in this next, spring or so. So we working on some things. But as of right now, so that's like one location. Now we're gonna kind of expand our minds real quick. So Nigeria, we know 200 million people in Nigeria. They got traditional music. They got so many art forms and things that need to be on the blockchain. And I have a lot of Nigerians hop on my channel. They're in their blockchain. They're so blockchain and tech savvy. They want this, right? And you can see we're not going to El Salvador yet, but a country like El Salvador, blockchain, they all on Bitcoin and stuff.
St. Kitts,
right? So then we're talking with a few people. So right now we're working on Nigeria. We're working on was it St. Kitts?
St. Kitts and Nevis in Jamaica.
Yeah, in Jamaica. Big Island in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Probably either my guy out in Denmark. We either gonna go to Denmark or we out in England. He out there in both areas. So we got partners around the world. Essentially what we're saying. We are about to bring this value worldwide. Right.
Yes.
And there's other things being built that like I have my course, right? You got the VR show. So we have other tools that you can get to later, right? But last year price, not, this year price, as they say. So there's value, right? We're always looking for partners and collaborators, but we're headed out there. Let's talk more about that impact of talking to government officials. Let's fantasize and visualize what that could be like.
I'm pretty excited about that, to be going out to St. Kitts and sitting down with the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Tourism, and speaking directly to them. And, speaking of like Nigeria, one of the benefits to this is having a more stable currency. And I know most people say that's crazy, like tough. Crypto's not stable, but their money isn't stable either.
Let's dig a little bit deeper. You're right, because the Naira is so damn inflated. like you talking about inflation.
Millions for like a loaf of bread.
Yeah, I got my sister sent me a video. Her friend is in Ghana. She was like, "Oh, man, the money getting inflated right now," and we talking about our low wages and our inflation, but they're still dealing with the world that has to, you gotta purchase, but yeah, it's getting crazy. So crypto, we gonna talk to like Minister of Finance and all that. Why is because the Bahamas, all these islands, United Emirates and all of that, they already have their laws figured out for crypto. So the U.S. is behind because all that red tape and arguing that they love to do in Congress. Shout out to Congress. I don't want no smoke. But so we got to go to those places. Unfortunately, I love New York, but they have those the laws with bit laws, right? Bit license. So that's why there's problems over there. California was a little blocking things for a little bit. So people like us, we have to go to the world and give them where they need it the most.
That's the number one thing, is like, it's easy for us as Americans to be like, what do I need that for? I got stable money. I got this. I got now.
Even though our money's on.
No, we're learning now,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's coming more to fruition, the realities of that. But the common perception, right? We're talking about the everyday person walking around the street. It's like, I'm good. I got money. I got a bank. I can go and debit card. It works great. The problem is that's not the rest of the world. No. And this tool needs to be leveraged in places where it's needed first, so it can be sustained and supported, right? Yes. And as we start to, get grips on the reality of the power of this technology, then we're going to come in slowly. I mean, look at what we did with like stem cells, right? We put off all the best people and sent them off to China. Now we're behind in stem cell treatment and therapy and all this stuff.
Hey, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, they in the Bahamas. So why? I would be crazy not to go to go out there and tap in with them.
And it's about the as a teacher and as an educator and doing edutainment, as you say, it's important to have these places to go to, right? Because I'm not flawless. I get people who hit me and they're like, "Oh, F this," and you're right. And luckily, I know what I'm doing. I'm secure in what we're doing. We've done the research. We can see. The problem with being a visionary is you can see it. Everyone else wants it to be up on paper.
Yes.
And you have to meet them where they're at, right? Because there was a time where it took 6 months to get me to get up in this game.
Yes.
So when I meet people, I don't come at them like, oh, I have all the answers. I come at them like, I understand your apprehension. Yeah. That's smart. That's not stupid. And now let me show you these things you can actually do, right? That's why with
let me give you the truth.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, all right. So many times when I talk to somebody, I'll be like, oh, I've never got it like that.
Well, okay. How about this? Let's do a challenge. We got about 5 to 7 minutes or so. What about the value for the businesses then?
The business, there's tremendous value for businesses because they can participate in this as well. They're not cut out. They're not excluded. And most of the businesses are the quicker ones to jump because they have the liquid capital to support this type of growth. We're talking about disruptive technologies here. We're talking about things looking through. Don't go by my words. Go back through history. Look at what they said about the internet. Look at what they said about the telephone. You know what I'm saying? Every time a new disruptive technology comes in, there's apprehension, a change. That means that it's going to be bad for somebody.
Oh.
Right? Yep. And those people, they don't want it to be good for everybody.
No.
So that's part of, with the businesses, I think they're at a much greater advantage because they can sustain through this building phase and there's value there.
And the cost, right? And I love to tell the same story about the bar in my neighborhood I like to go get a burger and a beer at. But they always got their sign up talking about please pay with cash because of the fees are too high on our processing. So that's always one thing that I'm always like, damn, as a business owner, you can cut your costs, right? We had to, before you had to store all your files in a physical file cabinet in the office. That's space and time. Now you scan, you swipe, and it's in your Google Drive or your Amazon Web Services. We're only talking about the same thing for businesses, right? And then revenue models and ways to fundraise with NFTs, memberships with NFTs. Because you're talking about doing something, a club want to do something exclusive, that's exclusive, right? And then because of the iPhone, the Android phone, we're in a like a semi-virtual, right? Because you still need your phone to, when you pull up, to be like, I have it, right? So you still are getting that. And then shout out to Pera Wallet, Exodus, and all these other platforms.
Pardon me.
Yeah,
one
you good.
moment.
But I'll go ahead. But shout out to these other platforms. We're talking about they have different revenue models. They are having the ability to provide different services, right? Like I'm saying again, if we're all cutting costs, where's the money going there, right? The money is going somewhere. And the goal with crypto is to put it back in the hands of the liquidity providers. Now we're jumping from DeFi. We're going back to DeFi with this conversation. When you provide liquidity to a platform, right? What you're essentially saying is you're the bank. You are putting the money up, and then you earn the middleman fees, right? You go, who else is the liquidity provider? It's you, and it's you, and it's you, right? So we are the liquidity providers in this game that we're playing right here. And that's the beauty.
And you get to reap the rewards, because I know your money sitting in the bank ain't making no interest.
Guaranteed to make nothing.
And some of these DeFi programs, just doing the governance program alone is what, 7%?
Yes.
So
yes.
You got a guaranteed 7% and 90 days of sitting there.
Yeah.
You could do that 4 times a year.
Yes.
And you're going to get 20-something% worth of return.
Yeah, you eating. So it's those type of things, right? It's actually taking that. And like I'm saying, then for the business owners, we know behind every business is an individual. So we're talking about 2 times for a business owner. We're talking about doing it for your business and also for yourself, right? Cut your own fees down. I challenge y'all to go check out your 401k fees. Go check out the withdrawal penalty, right? The lockup penalty, the lockup fee, the transfer fee. All of these things are real. But now we can build our own things, right? You know what I'm saying? Build our own products.
And that you can see and witness every single thing. The beauty about the blockchain is you know where every penny went and gone. You don't know where your money, when you put your money in the bank and they use it to go make a bunch of other money and don't give you no return off that, you don't get to see none of that.
Okay, check this out too. Like, exactly, at that point, you put your money in the bank, y'all. They take your money out. It's called fractional reserve banking. They take the money out overnight. Then when I go to the store that night or that morning and I swipe, that 20% was your money. So they take your money and give you, let's call it a quarter of that's actually too generous. Let's call it 0. They give you nothing.
Yeah.
And then they take the money and then they loan it out to other people for 17 to 20%. That spread is 17 to 20% for them.
Yep.
Then they hit us with the mortgage. They hit us with these things. And what we're saying with crypto is you can take some of that power back. And let's be mindful and let's be cautious. You don't have to put all your money there.
No.
We're talking about allocating and tapping in with it, because you're going to eventually get absorbed by it regardless. It's happening.
Yeah, and it's just about, it's, like we talk about certain coins in the meeting, everybody's like, I missed out on that.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin.
Right?
For sure.
So like
Bitcoin.
That's, so when we have our talks,
they all say I missed.
And that's where it's understanding, taking an educated gamble, like doing your research, understanding what the risks are. Nothing is risk.
Like you can go to a workshop. You can come to an NFT workshop and just learn.
That's it. And when you come to our workshop, you get something. You walk away out of there with new crypto, with artwork, and you feel synergized and empowered, and we're creating a small community here along as we go.
Yeah, and we're gonna have other in-person bonuses as well, like more NFTs, access to content that if you tapping in with us online, we love you, but you have to go get this from us in the physical, right?
Well, we have some ideas that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we can't share right now. We plotting and planning.
We want to do some in real life events where you get access to art before other people get access to it on the blockchain, and reward for the support that we get. Because that's
we get major support, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's part of the only way we can make this happen. The only way that this is sustainable is if the people that support us see the value that we've been delivering. Facts. And so I've been extremely grateful for, Pop and Puffins, NifGen, and all the companies that have put their resources behind us and allow us to shine our skill set. Yes. Right? Because we all have a place and a role in this whole process.
Yeah. Let's shout out some of these partners. Shout out to Australia Zoo, right?
Yeah.
Meadow Labs, Tiger Chi out there, NifGen. We talking about Daffy. We got the Algorand Foundation. Like I said, the next blog. We got Crypto Bomber Crew. It's probably so much more. I can't even think of everyone.
It's that's been one of the things that kind of fires and pushes even more, right?
Yeah, shout out to all of those, and I got much love for the rest if I didn't say your name.
I gotta have to start writing down these lists. It's getting long and stuff.
And the Algo Found #1.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that's been super a blessing, is just how well everybody has embraced me, us. You've been in the game for quite some time.
For a while doing my thing.
I'm kind of more the noob here.
He a little noob, but he good though. He good people.
Yeah, and luckily, authenticity and consistency and my passion. It's hard to be in a room with me or meet me and not get that feeling of, this guy loves what he's doing. He might be wrong, but he believes it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm not out saying anything that I think is a lie.
Yeah, as long as you genuine, you got love, bro. We good.
And the work, right? Because
execution.
Yeah, we go out there, and it's not easy for everyone to just go out in the street and walk up to people and just be like, "Hey, you want to come to this workshop?" And
no, that's hard.
Especially when we in this bear market, everyone wants to give the big middle finger to you. You know what I mean?
They lost money,
and it takes that commitment, and again, meeting people where they're at. You can't come at them and expect them to just like say yes to everything right away. You got to show them the things that you're passionate about and the things that are going to bring value to their lives. Don't make any sense to talk to a business manager, a finance manager about NFTs when they're not pumped about it. I can tell them about DeFi, and they be like, start minging,
I can talk
right?
to you about supply logistics.
Exactly,
okay,
right?
You know what I mean?
And all these things. And with I'm trying to onboard food carts and restaurants and stuff. I can go to them and tell them, look, I'm going to have a merchant service who's only going to charge you 1.5 instead of 3.5 or 4.5.
You talking my language. That's it.
So that's the key. That's really what it is being open, being aware, listening, right? Because sometimes, especially me, I'm just waiting for my turn to talk. You know what I mean? I think that's a very American,
it's American
thing, and sometimes you get so excited, right? You're just like, oh, I got to tell them this thing. But really, you got to tone it down and you got to listen so that you can deliver the value proposition. It isn't about us. It's about them and getting them to help us, right? Because we need all this extra.
That's why shout out to Damon John, but he said it right years ago. FUBU, for you, by us, right? It's for you. We doing this for you. But it's by us, right? right? And we want something.
Right.
We want love and we want the money.
Well, we gotta survive.
But we know you want the same thing. So it's, what is it called? Metcalfe's law. The more it is, the more it will become, right? And with these markets here, why we all that are still in crypto are so aggressive, because we know this market is going to change.
Yeah.
This cycle has happened of down and doubt, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, to all the glory in laser eyes. That is coming back. But what we're saying is, get educated now.
This is the perfect time to invest because it costs less, right?
Way less.
You got to understand that the more billionaires are made during depressions and when things are down.
Yeah.
It's about being conscious, being aware, and taking advantage of the low gate of entry.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what this is so beautiful about this time right now, is everyone can actually get in. It ain't too crazy. Right now, if you want to buy a Bitcoin, it might be a little crazy.
Still gonna be crazy.
But there's a lot of other chains that are coming down the line. Algorand being one of the major ones that have the potential to 10x in a couple of years.
Yeah. Hey, listen, make sure y'all tap in. We about to close out. It's always lovely to have y'all tap in and get this understanding from us. And, for sure, tag us on Twitter, hit us on YouTube in the comments, and can you tell them folks where to tap in with you and how can they get a bomber?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead and log on to your Twitter. Check out Bomber Crew with a K, BOMBERKREW, and tap in right at the very pinned comment. Tweet is the link to the Bomber Crew. If you're a Bomber Crew member, you will get some pretty awesome perks to it. for our show on YouTube, Crypto Bomber Crew with a K, is every episode we're going to be giving out a free digital asset to our bomb holders who watch it, share it, and leave their wallet in the address. So don't miss out on that, okay? And then we got Instagram at Crypto Bomber Crew. We got Facebook. We got LinkedIn for all you business folks who want to partner up with us. You want us to teach them about all the amazing opportunities and advantages of your technology. Sit down with me and see Will. We'll review things, make sure the company culture is matching what we're about, because that's the number one thing. We work so hard and so much. We're only going to be working with people that we love, that we can get along with, and that we can spend time with, because that's what this is about right now. So please go ahead and don't forget to check out our website, cbkrew.com, and you can see the artists that we have featured that are coming on. There's a link to get into being a bomber, all that good stuff. I'm grateful for your time and patience. I hope we didn't go too crazy with it, and we're going to keep getting deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole. So come on down with us.
Yes. So tap in. Again, see Will with the Passive Income Network. We have Dr. Mello of Crypto Bomber Crew. Shout out to Thorn City Syndicate Management, GMP Podcast, and shout out to all of y'all for tapping in. We gone.
Peace.
Algorand. See the crypto, a digital face. 2021 fiat replace. Had to have it. Bank account by Algorand. Large amounts. Digital left the physical space. The community had to be great. A digital wallet. Large amounts. It's about fame. Big bank account.